Okay, so hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. And right now I'm not doing a very traditional movie review here, and I feel like I'll be doing more of these in the future. Because instead of reviewing this film, I think there's already a lot of great analysis and reviews of this film. I'm just going to talk about my experience watching this film, my feelings, my emotions. So right now as I'm speaking, it's already a Friday, but 3 nights ago, I watched Grave of the Fireflies, and I've been wanting to talk about it, but I couldn't because I've been so insanely busy. So if you had been caught up with my life, you probably know that one of the classes I'm taking right now is about animation. It's about animated films. Um, and the name of the class is called Animated Animation Beyond Disney. So the entire syllabus are animated films, but just not Disney because Disney is too popular. And so far, it's been an absolutely amazing class. Before the class started, I was like, "Ooh, what if the professor decides to screen anime?" And turns out he does. He screens five anime films. The first one being Millennium Actress, which I saw last Tuesday, which is an absolute masterpiece. And then I saw Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro. It's a double feature. And then in the following weeks, at some point, we'll be watching Your Name, and then following that, it'll be Evangelion, the rebuild, the first episode, which I'm incredibly excited to see. Also, side note, holy shit, had I not seen the original Eva series and the end of Evangelion, and I watched the rebuild, because of school, like I would have been pissed. I'm glad I've already seen the original first because that's a habit of mine. In general, I like to see the original first before I see any kind of remake. So anyways, Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro double feature. It's fascinating. He decided to screen these two films back to back, not only because they are released in the same year, um, and they sort of contrast each other greatly, but also because they are literally a double feature. Both of these films are released, I believe, on April 16th, 1988 in Japan. When these two films got released, they were screened back to back. It's supposed to be watched that way. So I've seen My Neighbor Totoro twice already. And the first time I see it, I was just a young child. And then the last time I saw it, I believe it was 2021, and I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty great actually. But under the context of Grave of the Fireflies, My Neighbor Totoro hits even harder for me. So in the case of Grave of the Fireflies, I've been avoiding to watch this film. I've been avoiding watching this film for all my life because obviously knowing what the movie is kind of about, I thought I would never be able to handle it. And of course, I keep avoiding watching it. I keep avoiding watching it. Eventually, I will have to watch it. And lo and behold, USC, my school, is the reason why I'm watching it. And holy shit, I did cry. You know, the worst thing to happen to a cinephile is wanting to love a movie but not loving it. And that's happened to me so many times. But I don't have to say that for Grave of the Fireflies. This film profoundly hurt me and profoundly hurt many other people in the theaters that night as well. Like, there was a point where the end credits were rolling and then it stopped and the music stopped and the entire theater was just silent, but I could hear sniffling all around me. And it's one of those cinematic experiences where you're like, oh my god, everyone's crying, or like 90% of the audience are crying. And again, I try my best not to go into movies with high expectations, but sometimes I do that and it ends up disappointing me. I went into Grave of the Fireflies knowing that I'm gonna cry. Um, and I still somehow, the film still somehow exceeded my expectations. So, first off, it's not a pure war film. It is not a movie full of dead bodies and explosions and blood, even though that would have been traumatizing enough. But this film, what won me over was actually the tender moments. So we have our two main characters, Seita and Setsuko, older brother, younger sister, and they sort of have to survive by themselves during war. Because, I'm not going to spoil what happens. They just have to survive. And there's so many beautiful, tender, wholesome, cute moments where they go to the beach and they have fun, they catch fireflies, and it's beautiful. But watching those scenes instead of making me feel happy just gives me intense dread because the beginning of the film basically teased towards what happens at the end. So when I watch them hanging out and having fun, I know what's going to happen to them. So there's this impending doom. And then the said doom finally happens, and it's not even war, like things blowing up. It's just a slow, quiet doom. And it's even worse than I thought. It was so terrible. There was a montage near the end of the film where we sort of go through Seita's memories, like the remaining beautiful memories of a dying boy. And this is one of those moments where I was fucking bawling. Like, I didn't even cry that much in the most part of the film. Like, I felt sad, sure, and my nose was sniffling, but I didn't tears didn't run down my face. But that montage was brutal. It was cruel. Um, you know, we're watching it on a big screen, and I can't pause the movie because it's playing. I can't really look away. I can't really cover my ears. I'll still hear it. I am forced to stare at this montage, and I have no choice. It's incredibly cruel, and it's torture basically. And I think what hurts the most about this film, though, is that imagery of skinny, sick children, piles of dead bodies, destroyed buildings. These imagery aren't old. There are still genocides happening around the world right now. Many genocides, and it's disgusting and incredibly terrifying that these things are still happening. So I was scarred. I yeah, I'm scarred from this film. Another scarring anime film, I guess. And then watching My Neighbor Totoro right after that, I couldn't even concentrate in the first half of the film. And I think that's part of the experience is you experience something so dark and traumatizing, and then suddenly it's all sunshine and rainbows, and you can't even focus on the sunshine and rainbows. But then I leave My Neighbor Totoro feeling uplifted in the sense that I just see brightness, bright skies, and beautiful grass. And maybe it's Miyazaki saying, hey, cheer up. Maybe it's him saying something else. maybe there's something more profound underneath. I'm rambling on for too long. Grave of the Fireflies is a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't think I'll ever watch this film again. So, have you watched Grave of the Fireflies? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.